Good morning and welcome to the Morning Outlook. I'm James Preston reporting live from Kalkine TV's Sydney studios. And in this show, I'll provide you all the details you'll need for a successful day of trading, including the overnight US market performance, global markets, and all the information you'll need to know for ASX listed shares. Australian shares are expected to end the week on an upbeat note, likely helped by gains in domestic miners and energy stocks on the back of soaring commodity and oil prices. The domestic shares are also expected to track Wall Street, which ended higher overnight. The ASX 200 is expected to open the day 0.6% higher after climbing 0.5% to 7,311.7 points in the previous session. Harvey Norman Holdings, will trade ex-dividend for its fully franked 15 cents per share final dividend today. Eagers Automotive Limited and Hub24 are scheduled to pay their latest dividends later today as well. At close yesterday, the Australian share market recorded the first gain of the week, in the process almost recouping the losses from the three previous sessions. However, the market ran out of steam in the final 60 minutes of trading. The ASX 200 index closed 0.54% higher. 8 out of the 11 sectors recorded gains yesterday, with information technology shares standing out. The energy sector lost ground today, giving up some recent gains, as energy prices eased overnight and traders booked profits. Time now for a very short break. On the other side of these messages, we take a look at the top stories that have the potential to affect markets and also the latest market information from the US and across the globe.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
where the property market is headed next,
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly,
apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
with Kalkine TV.
Thanks for tuning in to Kalkine TV. I'm James Preston and this is the Morning Outlook, the show that gives you all the latest market commentary and news that matters to prepare you for the day's trades. Now, before we jump into the US, let's take a look at some of the day's top stories with the potential to impact markets. Regional travel in New South Wales has been pushed back to November 1st, despite surging vaccination rates that would see the state hit the 80% double jabbed mark well ahead of initial estimates. New South Wales Deputy Premier Paul Toole announced that the travel into regions for Greater Sydney residents will now not restart for another 2 weeks because of low vaccination rates in certain regional areas. The decision has been widely criticised on social media, with many accusing the government of continuously shifting the goalposts. And in a sign of the continued struggles of the aviation industry, Qantas has just confirmed binding agreements with a consortium led by Logos Property Group for the sale of a large parcel of land in Mascot near Sydney Airport. Most of the $802 million deal is expected to be settled before Christmas, with the funds to be used to, quote, reduce debt and accelerate the airline's recovery. The sale follows a review of the airline's property footprint initiated earlier this year, which indicated there was no long-term need for Qantas to develop the property. Some sections will continue to be leased, though, to assist in the transition of existing operations in and around the land parcel. Let's now turn our attention overseas, beginning with the United States. In US economic data, initial jobless claims fell by 36,000 last week. Producer prices rose by 0.5% in September, the smallest increase this year. Prices are up 8.6% on a year ago. Core prices lifted by 0.2%. And core prices overall are 6.8% higher compared to 12 months ago. European share markets closed higher on Thursday. The Pan-European Stock 600 index rose by 1.2%, with mining shares up by 3.3%. British e-commerce company THG was the strongest performer, with its shares rebounding 10.6% after a disappointing capital markets day earlier in the week. The German DAX index also lifted by 1.4%, and the UK FTSE rose by 0.9%. In London trade, shares in Rio Tinto and BHP were both up by 3.7%. US share markets advanced on Thursday on upbeat third quarter corporate earnings results. Shares of Walgreens Boots Alliance rallied 7.4%, after the drugstore chain beat earnings expectations. United Health Group shares also jumped by 4.2% after the insurer raised its full-year profit forecast. Shares of Bank of America, Morgan Stanley and Citigroup all climbed after beating earnings expectations. However, Wells Fargo shares declined by 1.6%. The Dow Jones index fell by 1.6%. The S&P 500 index gained 1.7%, its biggest lift since March 5, and the Nasdaq added 1.7%, the most since May 20. US Treasury yields fell on Thursday after data on the US labour market and producer inflation eased worries that the US Federal Reserve may need to take action earlier than expected to combat rising prices. US 10-year yields fell by 3 points to near 1.52%, and US 2-year yields were down by 0.36%. Major currencies were mixed against the US dollar in European and US trade. The euro was near 1.159 US dollars, while the Aussie dollar was at 74.15 cents, and the Japanese yen eased to near 113.7 at the US close. Global oil prices rose by 1% on Thursday after Saudi Arabia dismissed calls for additional OPEC Plus supplies. The IEA increased its global oil demand growth forecast in 2022 by 210,000 barrels per day. But US crude stocks rose by a surprising 6 million barrels in the past week. The Brent crude price lifted by 1% to $84 US a barrel, and the US NYMEX crude price added 1.1% to trade at $81 US and 31 cents a barrel. Base metal prices climbed on Thursday, led by zinc's surge to its highest price since 2007 as European smelters cut the output. Copper traded over the US $10,000 a tonne mark, and aluminium touched the highest price seen since 2008. The gold futures price rose by 0.2%, and spot gold was trading near $1,796 US an ounce at the US close. Iron ore also lifted 1.9% to hit $126 US a tonne. Well, that's all for the Morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more live market updates and economic news throughout the day. I'm James Preston, signing off for now.